Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. This is Jonathan E. with the Thermopylae Information Network. Well, old Mitch, the deep state swamp creature McConnell, is at it again. Just read an article where he was threatening President Trump that if he uses a declaration of national emergency to get the wall built, that he's going to possibly have the Senate pass a resolution to block it. Can you believe this? I mean, for all you out there that are still wondering whether or not the Democratic and Republican parties are actually opposing parties, they're not. They never have been, at least not for a long time, for most of my life. It's two sides of the same coin. These people are just as corrupt and just as pathetic as each other. Both of them, if you look at congressional approval ratings, they have an approval rating right now of about 20%. And they want to criticize Trump for his 50-something% approval rating. I mean, come on. Their highest ratings ever were during the 2002 resolution to go to war against Iraq and Afghanistan. Congress is pretty much, since 1974 when Gallup started tracking congressional approval, they've been below 40%. Okay, most of the time hovering around 20-25%. These people are completely pathetic. They're worthless. They're some of the most worthless human beings on the face of the earth, both Democrats and Republicans, in both the House and the Senate. And the numbers that we give back to Gallup prove it. These people have never been on our side. They've never done anything that's helped the United States average citizen. And here's just one more example. He's threatening to block the resolution. For those of you that have not seen my previous video, I'm going to put a link below where I did an analysis of the 58 national emergencies that have been declared since I believe it was 1974 when the National Emergency Act was instituted. 31 of those are still in effect, and Congress has never voted ever to overturn one of them. They can overturn any of them. There's one still from 1979 that they have never overturned, okay? So, again, like I said in my previous video, why all of a sudden with Trump? How come now they're finding the guts to be able to use their power to exercise the authority that they, have under the law? They've never done it before, but he's threatening now that they're going to pass a resolution that's going to block Trump from being able to declare a national emergency, okay? Well, and one of the things that he's saying about that is that it's going to hurt the Democrats and Republicans. It's going to hurt their bipartisanship. There never has been any bipartisanship. It's all fake, okay? All of them wind up running for the same thing. They all stand for the same thing, and that's to screw this country into the ground, all right? And we all know it. That's why their approval ratings are so low. Unfortunately, we just keep voting these people back into office. And for those of you in Kentucky, if he does go ahead with this, I would start recall papers right away, because this guy's nothing more than a deep state shill, and he's about to prove it. All right. So he threatened Trump that this will be not only injurious to the atmosphere between the two parties in Congress, but also it's going to hurt his re-election campaign. Mitch, you have a 20% approval rating. Anything he does that's against the will of you or any other person in Congress is just going to help his re-election campaign. I mean, come on. This is absolutely ridiculous. So check the video out that I've got tagged below and look at some of these examples that they've used for declaring national emergencies. I think only about 3 or 4 of them have ever really been something that affected the national security of the United States. The rest of them are just games that they play. All right. So check out the link below. If you happen to be from Kentucky, write to this piece of shit and tell him that you're not going to tolerate this. All right. Obviously, Congress has a vested interest in making sure. They could have built this wall a long time ago. They've all said that they wanted to, but they never do. So obviously these people have a vested interest in having a steady supply of people that will work for $5 an hour to clean their toilets and clean their bathrooms for them. This is just pathetic. So, and again, if you still labor under this idea that the Democrats and the Republicans are two completely separate entities and they really are opposing parties, this ought to be a good example right here. This guy's supposed to be on our side. He's supposed to be backing the Republican president of the United States. And here he is, knowing that Congress is never going to get their act together. They're not going to pass any border funding. And if Trump does it on his own, he's threatening to block it. So obviously he's not for border funding. Either that or he's just afraid that the president's going to be able to accomplish something that his lame ass can't. So check out the video. We've also got a bunch of videos posted on Bright Eon. It's a new format that we're using, a new platform to try to get around some of this censorship that's taken place on YouTube. So I'll put the links below. Please check it out. And as usual, I welcome all comments. I answer the comments. And if you could subscribe or pass this video on to other people that you know that have similar interests, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much and have a good day.